every single day. No, it sounds like a torture sentence when I say it like that. Yet, if you think of a date with the divine, with a daily practice of creation, a daily practice of not being in survival, but of thriving. I'm Bradley Charbonneau, the author of Every Single Day, and today we are going to talking about going from surviving to thriving. Now, for me, it started way back almost 8 years ago now, on November 1st, 2012. I was certainly not thriving. In fact, I was barely surviving. I was depressed, frustrated, sort of angry at the world for not giving me the dream I wanted. And yet somehow I managed to continue to dream the dream I had, but I was scared to take action. So I had one advantage in that I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a writer. I didn't know really what that meant. It's just sort of this glorified idea of becoming a writer. Yet I didn't really know what to do to take action to get there. And I wasn't sure I was even ready to take the action. I just wanted to be there. So I was at A and I wanted to be to Z, but I didn't really want to do the whole B, C, D, E, F, G. I think. I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. And so I was in a holding pattern. I was just stagnant. I was continuing to dream my dream. I didn't really tell too many people other than, oh, someday I'll be a writer. And yet, when would that someday come? Oh, you know, I'll get to it. I'll get to that, tomorrow, next year. When I retire. No, no, when I win the lottery. No, when my ship comes in, when my boat sails. When is that going to happen exactly? I've talked a lot about cats. I don't even have a cat. I'm not even really a cat person. The thing that intrigues me about cats is that they apparently have 9 lives. Kind of cool, right? So I thought to myself, if I'm not living this life the way I want it to go, that's okay. I'll just do it in my second life or even my third. Well, I've got 9. I've got plenty of time, right? Till one day I realized, wow, maybe I'm not a cat. And then along the way, my dad passed away. And it really hit me that we're all gonna die. And I know, I'm sorry, I know that sounds really simple. I must be such a simple minded human, and I am. But I thought, oh, wow, we're actually going to die. And the part that really hit home for me the most, we came home from the hospital. He's not with us, he passed away. We're in his house, my childhood home, and we're in his office. And on his office are some papers, a stack of papers. I don't know what they are, bills or I don't know what they are. But what hit me was that he was never again going to take care of whatever those papers were. Were they a novel he had never written? Were they a bill he hadn't paid? Was it ideas for projects? Was it just administrative mumbo jumbo? I don't know. But what hit me and hurt me at that moment was that they will never be taken care of. And that is when sort of the finality of life and the fact that I wasn't a cat, those two realizations together brought it home that I better get going in this life with living my life. Not just dreaming my life. I was really good at that, but living my life. And what I needed to do was take action. Scary, full of fear, dreading action. And the part that I spent probably 10 years suffering, hemming and hawing, and not getting started with because I thought I had to do everything. The action has to come within me. And that is possible. And if you are such a powerful person that you can say, this is the life I want to be, and I'm going to take action to do it, more power to you. I envy you. I was apparently not that strong, and I wasn't making it happen. I wasn't making it happen on my own, which is why we come back to November 1st, 2012. John Muldoon had a project called Monthly Experiments, where he took 30 days and you changed or created a new habit in your life. Simple as that. Whether it's not drinking coffee for 30 days or no caffeine or sugar or wake up 5 a.m., whatever it is, 30 days, see what happens. And the beauty of this experiment, and the key word, it's called experiment, is that there is no failure. At the end of 30 days, you learn a lesson. I don't need caffeine. Sugar makes me tired, right? So when he finally found out, when I came out of the closet as a writer or a wannabe writer, he said, Bradley, we're going to make a monthly experiment for you. November 1st, 2012. 30 days, you're going to write every single day. For me, this was scary because I was going from the safety of dreaming my dream to the sheer panic of taking action towards my dream. Because remember, it's safe over here. There's no action. There's no fear because it's never going to happen. There's no failure because I don't go forward anywhere in order to cause failure. And it's safe and secure. And yet it's going to fester like a disease in my body and one day kill me. And I will die with that dream. That doesn't sound like fun. November 1st, 2012. Let's start writing. Whew, scary stuff. I start writing. It was painful at first. Yet I had written before in my life, I think 8 years prior, I had actually published a book. And since I had pretty much written nothing and mostly suffered because of it. I started writing anything. I had no rules. I had no quantity, no quality. It's just write every day. That was it. And you are your own harshest and most critical judge. So you know when you set out that rule that you're going to do it. Now remember, it helps. I have a third party. I've got John Muldoon checking in. Hey, how's it going, Bradley? How's the writing going? I know I have that. So I'm doing the deed. I'm doing the work. 30 days. After 14 days, I'm kind of feeling okay. It's kind of like jogging and it doesn't hurt so much anymore. I'm almost feeling good. Not quite. 30 days, I feel I did it. I did it. I succeeded. I could even stop right now, check that box, and say, I was a writer. Because there's another important lesson we could learn. If after this 30 days and you realize, this isn't for me. I'm really glad I took these 30 days and now I'm stopping because that was awful. I hated that stuff. I'm going to move on to being a veterinarian now. Good. Think about that. What if I had spent another 8 years whining and sobbing and moaning and drowning in my own sorrows about dreaming about being a writer, yet I had never taken action? And had I known that after 30 days, that's not even my thing, I could have saved 8 years of my life. Whoa. But now I know, this is my thing. I'm going to keep going. I went from 30 days. I hit 2 months. I just doubled my writing output for the past 8 years in 60 days. I hit 100 days. That was a huge milestone. People are hemming and hawing about me. They're writing about me. They're saying, this guy just wrote for 100 days in a row. I couldn't believe that I was that guy. I'm like, oh, you mean me? oh, thanks. It's actually not that hard. Hardest part is day 0. The hardest part is day one, taking that first step, reaching up, taking the hand, offering you the invitation, and pulling yourself up and starting. I hit 365 days. If I calculate, somewhere probably around 1,000, my dad passed away. So if you think about it, wait a minute, Bradley, did you just say you wrote for 1,000 days in a row? Do you have like 14 novels done and a writing career started? Nope. Remember, for me, the goal was the practice. I often use running metaphors, and my goal was not to run the marathon. My goal was to run every day. My goal was not to write books. My goal was to write every day. Somehow, maybe I knew that was the key. The books, the fame, the fortune, that would all come later. But that was not my goal. My goal was the daily practice. That's super important to make that difference. I kept going. 1,000 days. I'm going to take a big jump here. I hit 2,000. How many days in a year? 365. What's that? Like 3 more years writing every day. And I was strict. Remember, you are your own most critical judge. Your boss, your colleague, your leader of your 30-day monthly experiment might say, "That's okay, you missed a day. I want you to just, get on it tomorrow." When you are your own most critical judge, you say, "I'm not missing it a day. Are you kidding me?" I remember one time we were in Barcelona on holiday, and it's 11:30, and I was getting sort of critical about the time. I told my wife, in Barcelona, like have dinner at 10 p.m. And I said, I gotta go. I've gotta go write my daily piece. I left them. Bye. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I gotta do my thing. By the way, here's a little fun tidbit, a little celebrity insight. When you are passionate about something, when you show, oh, I've got to do this thing I'm doing, I am passionate about this thing I'm doing, people are interested. Like, oh, what are you doing? What is that everyday thing? What are you writing? When you create, it's like a magnet. If you sit around and talk about creating, it's more like a repellent. I'm writing every day. I'm writing a book. I'm writing articles. I'm creating videos. I'm making audio podcasts. I'm directing a movie, or I'm working on a movie. Like, oh, what's it about? When you are creating, you are a magnet. Pro tip, you create something, you invite others in to create with you. This is where I am now, by the way. 2,000 days. 2,808. My mom passes away. Not quite sure what it was, but that day I decided to stop. I have been, for 2,808 days, I have been tracking every single day the title of my post or my podcast or whatever it was. And that day, I don't know, I had reached such a plateau that creating was no longer just for me. I had, it had gotten bigger than me. The creating was me. And I was at the point where I have now written 27 books in, I think, 4 different groups or series. The change at that point was I have achieved so much. I have gone above and beyond what I ever expected to achieve on that day one. Remember, all I wanted was to write every day. And now I'm helping other authors. I'm organizing conferences. I want you to come out of your shell and create every day or do whatever it is every day. I want you to take your first step, you to take your daily dose of forward progress. There is no failure, there is only learning. At this day, I still create every single day. But it is now in my blood. It is now who I have become. I no longer need to keep track because I know I'm doing it. I no longer need to push myself because I am being pulled. I no longer need the external motivation because I have the internal inspiration. I am now here to inspire you for your every single day journey, for your tiny little daily habit that blossoms like a giant sequoia in the forest. That's where I am today, together with a whole bunch of other dogs. Okay, I'm okay, except for that giant wolf looking thing over there. That's my story. I'm Bradley Charbonneau. I'm the author of Every Single Day, the founder of Repossible, and a true showcase of how creating your daily habit and making that almost the and the only goal, and everything else is then dessert, everything else is byproduct and a gift. And at some point, that giant flower will blossom to the point where you are spreading it to others. Because that, for me, is the ultimate goal, helping others, pulling you up, reaching my hand out, pulling you up, getting you started on living your dream. And outside of that shell, the safety bubble of only dreaming your dream. Today is day one. Thank you.